And we are now live. Chat room, you should be able to hear us in 30 seconds or so. We are live, and I cannot type.
We are live.
Zod and I did not organize our outfits before the show. I'm just letting everyone know that.
I'm wearing teal. My camera color is like washed out.
Not as far as anyone on the internet.
I know, that's the freaky thing.
You're wearing a blue shirt.
At least I'm not a red shirt. I will survive the episode.
Yes. Well, we think.
Yeah, that could just be exactly a twist ending.
Actually, is there blue shirts? Oh yeah, I guess that's science, right?
Yeah, that Dr. McCoy was a blue shirt. Spock was a blue shirt. All right,
almost had to turn in my nerd card there. Whoo! But I'm not really a Star Trek nerd, so.
All right, chat room has us. Greetings, chat room. Thank you for joining us once again. Greatly appreciate it.
We love you. We love you.
Says the guy who's leaving. No, just kidding.
Oh.
I only get two more
under the
shows.
bus. Thanks,
yeah,
man.
why you gotta be like that?
Only 2 more shows to twist that knife, saying you're leaving us. You don't like us anymore. No.
Oh yeah.
Some kind of dwarf sissy bag.
That reminds me, you need to give me a copy of the Accusod theme because I've lost it in all my computer rebuilds.
Oh yes. No, I will be uploading all the sound effects to an undisclosed location on the internet. I mean, it'll be disclosed sooner or later.
Yeah, it won't do us any good if you don't disclose the location. So.
You have to guess. Good luck.
All right. Thanks, Rev. I appreciate it. So we're not wearing the same shirt. Okay. Everybody to the top of the document. I would say Aludra, but she is not here. So everyone but Aludra to the top of the document.
Uh-oh.
Well, I mean, they don't really need to be here for the headlines, but, you know.
Well, we're going to introduce them before the headlines.
Yes. Oh, and I also needed, okay. I just needed to, in my head, not introduce Aludra.
Gomez does some random thing that, well, I will just think.
Ignore me. Ignore me! This, I use Dropbox. I have my own domain, Revenar. Come on now.
Ooh.
Dropbox.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to start the show. Please stand by.
Assume your seats are in the upright and never
Please
mind.
return your stewardesses to the normal upright position. And we will start.
I'm not editing.
We will start in 5, 4, 3, 2. On this episode of the AIE Podcast,
it's AIE The Next Generation.
Elder Scrolls get some rewrites.
We have Guild Wars news.
Holding out for a house.
And we chat with Cav and Jedi about AIE in WildStar. Cupcakes.
All that and more coming up right now. Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the AIE Podcast, episode 199, the Die Has Been podcast, broadcasting from beautiful Northern California. This is Gomez. Hey, hey, party people. And coming at us from the deep south out in central Alabama is Accusod.
Greetings. This is Accusod.
This week, we're joined by special guests Cav and Jedi, who are here to talk to us about AIE and WildStar. Welcome, guys.
Hello.
Hey. Oh, they talked at the same time. That always happens. We need to individually introduce them. So, what has been going on with you besides WildStar, Cav? What's been going on with you in the past, past couple weeks? We had you on just a couple weeks ago, but that's things have happened certainly.
Yeah, I started a new position at work. Been doing that, and my stress levels have bottomed out at this point, so that's a bonus. the website that we have, WildStar Core, is being redone. So doing a lot of stuff on the back end with that, transferring over posts and changing images and all kinds of fun stuff like that. So
Cool.
I've been very busy with that. And there's a podcast in there somewhere too. Not quite sure. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. Rather boring, you know. I'm
life.
like an old guy. I go to bed at 9 o'clock, get up at 9 a.m. You know.
So Jedi, how about you? What has been going on with you in the past couple of weeks?
Well, I've been playing a lot of video games. I've been trying to play through Grand Theft Auto still, and
Video
I've been
games,
trying
you
to-
say?
yeah, I've been trying to do something new. I've never done this before, but I'm trying to learn Pathfinder.
Oh,
I've never done a tabletop game before, so I'm trying to learn this, and it's
3.75. It's a good rule set. Good rule set.
Sounds like he's
Trying to learn.
creating wine there. That's
I know, right?
That was a
tasty.
good year.
Cool. So Zod, what about you? I know you've been working your crazy get up at 4 in the morning, and
Actually, this week I've not been working the dawn till dusk shift, only because there's been a lot going on in the personal side of life that has been totally absorbed all my time. Let me just say I've spent two of the last 3 days in a courthouse in a trial case nonstop, and I was not on the jury, and I'm just going to leave it at that and let your imagination soar. But I actually got to sleep in every day, which was nice. So,
well, I guess that's a good thing.
it was a nice change of pace at least. So how was your week?
It's been good. Work is crazy, but that's, I guess, what I kind of signed up for. People probably saw my whining tweets this weekend. I was attempting to ride 50 miles over the long weekend, and I got 2 flat tires in the span of 25 miles, and kind of table flipped and was done for the span. I've been playing WildStar a ton. I have a level 16, a level 18, and a level 24, I believe. So not super. I'm not breaking any records for leveling or anything here, but the trade skill thing, I really, really love doing trade skills. I really don't like that when you move to the next tier of trade skills, because they kind of go tier 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like all of the stuff you need to do that trade skill is like on the other side of the zone, and it's 15 levels higher than you can actually kill stuff around. So that's been super frustrating. Like, I really am enjoying the trade skill stuff, and it's nice to be able to make useful stuff, but right now I'm having to, it's like, I have to level some so I can actually survive trying to farm the stuff that I need to do trade skills. But things have been good. Yeah, that's basically what it is. It's like, oh shoot, I actually have to play the game. Like, how dare they make me play the game? So
Someone needs to come out with a game that's nothing but trade skills. That's it. Just the trade skill game.
I'm sure they probably have that. I just haven't really played it yet. So, but we will be digging into WildStar shortly. But first, we will cover this week's news.
AIE News.
All right, first up, we've got a wonderful, happy announcement. Of course, they were missed at Nertacular this year, but Renee and JJ, otherwise known as Ice Flow and Cowboy, had other plans on the 4th. Just a few days ago, their family size doubled with twin girls. Woo! There was Zoe Lane, who came in at 5 pounds, 13 ounces, and Maya Jade. I love that name, 5 pounds, 4 ounces. So welcome both of you to the AIE family. I'm assuming they're both going to go horde right off the bat.
Well, of course.
We wish all the best to JJ and Renee from here to the AIE Podcast, and want to warn you, it'll be a long time before you get to sleep or even play video games again.
Yeah, but they'll be great parents. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. So speaking of Nertacular, we wanted to give Doghouse Systems a big shout out for sponsoring the event. One attendee at Nertacular won a complete Doghouse Gaming desktop, which the side panel was autographed by pretty much all of the people that ran the convention. So that was really cool. And an attendee in the live chat room won a Doghouse gaming laptop. Several people won World of Warcraft themed computer panels. And the always awesome Kim Price was there handing out mouse pads aplenty. Big thanks to Doghouse for being a valued supporter of the Frog Pants and AIE communities.
Yeah, those guys are awesome. All right, just a reminder, which we'll probably repeat every other week or so for the next month and a half, Sorry about that. AIE is moving over to our new Mumble server. Our Ventrilo server will be shut down on September 1st, so you've got about 7 weeks left to get moved over, which sounds like plenty of time, and it really is, but it's better to get moved over now and work out any of the bugs or issues your raid team might have. All of the Mumble information is in the community section of the AIE forums, and we'll have a link in the show notes.
For all you Elder Scrolls players who have been feeling like the 50-plus content seems a little too hard, you aren't crazy. Well, I mean, you might be. This is just not evidence of it. So Bethesda recently announced they intentionally tuned the game to encourage grouping at the veteran levels, but they've heard the complaints and have already begun retooling the game to make the 50-plus experience more like the 1 through 50. So you can do it by yourself, but it's going to behoove you to get in a group and do some of this stuff.
Yeah, it's really great hearing a gaming company, responding to the players and saying, let's give the players the game they want to play. So for those of you in on the big secret, Radozato wants to warn you about the hotfix that Funcom released yesterday for the Secret World. He says it has some pretty meaningful changes. Now, I've looked at the patch notes, but since I'm one of the uninitiated, they just look like squiggly lines written in the sand to me, so I have no idea what's going on. But if you can crack the code, you want to take a look at what's changed to see how it affects your game.
Don't let Zod scare you off. The patch notes are not in Sanskrit. Despite what he's trying to tell you is going on.
Just squiggly lines.
Okay, so the AIE and Final Fantasy gang is looking for your input from all of the Final Fantasy players. As you know, they've been working towards buying the largest possible house in the game because AIE is just that awesome. There's been some discussions that it's taking too long, and they're wondering if you'd rather buy a more modest house now and let the fundraising just drag on and drag on. If you have any thoughts on this, Abavan has posted a poll in the Final Fantasy forums, and there's quite a bit of discussion going on, so if you want your voice heard, if you want to hold out to get the big house, or if you want to get something medium-sized now, let people know.
All right. Believe it or not, we actually have some Guild Wars 2 news this week. Been a long time coming, but here it is. NCSoft has announced that Season 2, Episode 2, which is called Entanglement, will launch on July 15th. That's just in 5 days from this recording. And according to Velanos, who posted this in the forums, if you log into the game before then, you will get the update for free. If you don't, you'll have to pay for it. And who doesn't like free DLCs anyway, right? So sign in and get your free content. And last but not least, don't forget next week is our 200th show. Yay! We're going to have some amazing guests, which we are not at liberty to say yet because I don't think everything's cleared. The agents and the lawyers, paperwork's still being signed.
Checks are still being signed, I guess.
Checks are still being signed. All the details. We're running around gathering green M&Ms for the people who want those, special little details. But we'll also be seeing Gomez off after over 3 years as the head of this show. So you're not going to want to miss next episode. Man, words are hard.
Words are hard. Hold on. I need to get the... Okay, there's the words are hard. Oh, I said it again, so I have to... Okay, so with that, we're going to bring out the two cupcakes who are here to help us to talk about WildStar. So what has been going on with you guys? I mean, this game is awesome. I recruited a bunch of people in to play it. It's we're now in Umami, which is exciting. So I'll let you guys take over and sort of talk about what's going on.
Official. I'm so proud.
Woohoo!
How about it, Jedi?
Okay, so like Gomez has said, we're in Umami, so that's a thing. That's like our biggest news we've got here. So I think we're going to shoot for a cutoff date of like August 10th, which is a month from now, since we're officially saying, hey guys, we're in Umami. We're on a podcast now, we're saying.
Okay.
So a month from today, if you're not in Umami, I'm going to kick you out. Sorry, guys.
And come on, guys. If you're already an existing AIE member, it takes 15 seconds to... I mean, I did both of my characters in the span of a minute, so come on. You can get this done before you have a month.
It's even faster now. It's so fast now, so... Thanks, Sig.
Yes, thank you, Stig.
So the way this works is, you go into Umami and you pull down on the drop-down WildStar, and then you click it. There's going to be tabs that say, like, something, officers, something, and then it's going to say applications. Click on that and then submit the application. There's going to be a couple questions that are important, like your character name. And then there's going to be a little survey on the bottom. You don't really have to fill it out if you don't want to, but it helps us know like where you guys came from, especially if you're coming from like this podcast right now. If like you've just heard the AIE podcast and you're like, hey guy, wow, I really like the way this sounds, and then hit submit, we'll get an email to our emails, which is new, and then we'll approve your application in the system. You'll get an email back saying, hey, you're good to go, and then you can come into our AIE LFO channel in game and say, hey, I just got approved for my thing. Can you send me an invite? And we're going to say turn off your spam filter because that's always on, and then we'll give you an invite to our amazing guild. And right now, we're looking at, we have a policy in place where we have a 500 member guild cap, which kind of sucks. Things are in the works to change what I'm about to say, but for right now, we're only allowing one alt per person in just because it's...
Right, so 2 characters per person, a regular and an alt? Or
yeah,
just...
2 characters per person. We're probably sitting about like 200 mains right now, maybe less, and the rest of the people are alts. I'm guessing. I don't know. This is all top of my head. You know, most percentages are made up. Statistics are made up. So...
It's 37.5% of statistics are made up on the spot.
Yes.
Yeah, that was just right on the spot. We're just 50-50.
And also, if you're already a member of the guild and you get your app in, you don't actually need to do anything. You don't need to join the channel. You don't need to do we want a record of everyone that's in the guild and what person these characters are attached to. So if you're already in the guild and you submit your Umami thing, you're done. You can just continue playing. Nothing will have changed for you. This is just for people who are not yet in the guild. And once you submit your Umami, the officers will get you in. And keep in mind, although they were really fast when I submitted mine, because I think someone happened to actually be online, a human being looks at every single one of these applications. So keep in mind, it might be 24 hours before you get your thing done. Chances are these guys are playing a lot, so I don't think it's going to be more than 24 hours before you. But I want to set an expectation. A human being does look at every application before it gets approved.
I read every application. Like, so if you fill out the survey blocks, I actually read them. And if I didn't actually put you into accept you in the system, I go back and I reread the ones that I haven't done.
Okay.
And I do that for Final Fantasy, and I do that for this one. It's good to know where people come from, especially when a game where we have to recruit.
So do you grade them or anything? Do you give them a rating?
No, mine is the best so far.
Ooh,
so.
D-, dude, here.
Cavs was pretty terrible. He's like, who do I know? And he's like, Cav. And
I did. I just put Cav.
Well, apparently Mooley put me for every single every single thing that you could answer on the application. Who do you know in the guild, Gomez? What are your guild interests, Gomez? It's like, thanks, Mooley. I appreciate that.
yes.
But
okay.
So my next note here. We're just to say we're at 453 members, so we've got about math is hard. Members to go before we're capped. But we're going to end up... No, this is on the fly. We're probably going to end up... We're going to do an inactive purge here shortly, and we're going to let some people go, a few, and that will free up some spots. But hopefully there are things in the works, like I said, that will eliminate the guild caps. You guys can speculate all you want, but there are things happening in the backgrounds by people are doing it that aren't me, and I'm just this third-hand, fourth-hand person, so... Things are happening.
It's really not that hard to imagine what's going on. We need to find a way to link guild chat. That is our green wall that our wonderful Stig does, and so we're waiting on that. Once we get that, we will open up. We'll spin up another guild. We'll get people in there. The details on how that works, seeing as you need people playing in the guild to get the guild level up the same, that has yet to be determined how we're going to do that. So, and it'll all be up on the forums. Go to the forums.
You guys will know as soon as we know. Trust.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. I need to break in here. We have some important Frog Pants news. Apparently, Taylor Johnson is now engaged.
Whoa.
Scott just tweeted this just a couple minutes ago. If you follow Scott Johnson at all on Twitter, his daughter just got engaged. So congratulations to the Johnsons. Wow. That's really
Congratulations.
A very brave boy who's going to be talked about on several podcasts.
Oh, yes, he will.
Sometime to come.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. That needed to be said.
That's awesome. No, that sounds legit.
One thing that's really, really quick about people and alts and their characters in the guild. So there are certainly benefits for being in the guild, but there is also no guild reputation. So if there's a character that you're going to say, I'm not going to play this character for like a month, go ahead and de-guild them and get an invite back later if they've filled out umami, because it makes room for people that are actively using their characters, and it's just that you don't have to build up your rep like WoW. You actually have to build up your rep to get some of the rewards in the guild. In WildStar, that's not the case. If you are a member of the guild, you are entitled to everything that the guild has to offer. So just keep that in mind. Like if there's a character you're not going to play for a couple months, maybe remove from the guild, make some space for some other people.
Correct, and one of the ways that we have discussed, and it's completely up to the members on how they want to do it, is the guild levels are based on guild influence, and influence is gained by playing together. So a group of level 50s running dungeons together, questing together, doing dailies together is going to benefit a second guild much more than having a bunch of lobies in there that aren't playing together. So That's something that, like I said, once we get stuff ironed out on how we want to do it, the best way to go about it, we'll put something up on the forum saying, hey, if you the same way that the WoW guilds do it, if you're willing to go play in this guild to help level it, we'd be grateful.
Yes. I have no problem with inviting people more than once. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, all the officers are definitely as long as you have a Umami character in there, you can leave and join as much as you like, and it's just based on whether there's an officer on. All the officers in WildStar are happy to invite or kick any alts that you would like to get your stuff moved around. Don't you laugh at us, Zod.
We'd love to kick alts. Come on, give us a reason. Come on.
It's funny because we already did a purge so that we could try and keep the numbers down, and I started doing the purge, and people are like, "Oh no, what's going on?" And we've actually had quite a few people that have joined the guild that are not current AIE members. It was, hey, I'm playing this game with my friend. They told me to come in here, ask for an invite, and we've had quite a few people brought in that way, and we will be actively recruiting, but we haven't started that yet. We're trying to find the best way to do that as well.
It's probably good to warn those people. Yeah, with a community our size, we have to do some house cleaning, and it can look kind of scary if you happen to be online.
Yeah.
They just kicked like 8 people for no reason. What's going on?
The guild is breaking up. No.
Yeah. So, and it's once it's explained to them, they're like, oh yeah, no, that totally makes sense. I've got a number of other guild leaders that I've talked to since the game launched. They go, oh, how's your guild doing? And okay, well, we've got 50 people, we've got 100 people. They're proud of that, and I go, yeah, we've had to purge people to keep inviting people. So that's fun.
AIE problems.
Exactly.
Yeah,
AIE problems.
Hashtag AIE problems. Okay, for the record, Aludra just showed up in the chat room. Aludra, we see you.
You've been caught. So, the expansion plans, like we went over, we're looking to get another guild spun up, and once I think at this point the biggest thing we're waiting on is Greenwall. So once that's done, which Stig is working on, I don't know if he's actively working on it, but he'll get to it. We try not to bother the Stig. We don't want him to malfunction or anything. So
he's a robot.
He's a robot, yes.
You need to ask him about making Greenwall work across games, because that would be awesome.
Oh man,
yes.
We do. It's called the Jabber server, Zod.
That's true.
We do have that already.
So they had WildStars had the Strain patch came out on July 1st. It was 2 new zones. It continued the story. as Carbine intends, they will have a new patch every month is their goal. So it pretty much as soon as the new one drops, a week later, the next patch will be up on the PTR. Their mentality is that if you're paying for a monthly subscription, they want to give you something new to do every month. They're very adamant that there are players that solo play. Jeremy Gaffney likes to throw around the numbers that in the mid 60% of players in MMOs are solo players. So there is a lot of solo content in this game. The zones are massive. There's a lot to do. So with the strain patch, what was that?
There's a lot of fun stuff to do in the new zones. There's 2 20-man things to do, and I haven't done the one where you kill a boss, but I did this one where it's like this tree and it's kind of like this tower defense thing, and it's really kind of crazy.
I honestly wouldn't know what the cap looks like.
I
always.
To be totally honest, like, they're adding new zones. I'm not done with the ones that they started with. Like, I'm only level 23 or 24. So yeah, I'm thrilled that there is so much content that I'm not gonna get to this stuff for months. So I don't know. Do you guys know if the strain stuff? Like, do you guys know if the strain stuff, like, if that's going to go away, that I should be actively seeking specific stuff out?
I don't think it's going to go away because it seems like the level 45-ish to 50 zones are based around that. They'd have to redo the artwork for the whole zone.
Oh, okay. Well, that's months away for me. So okay.
Yeah. It's not like Guild Wars 2 where you log in and then Lion's Arch is gone. It's okay. I'm hoping not, at least for.
No, Carbine has expressly said that any content they put in the game that is not based around holiday content or certain dynamic event content will be in the game. So Blighthaven and I'm terrible at this. I can never remember the other one, but they will be there. Yeah, that one. They will be there as long as the game is up and running, and unless you run into it, the same way that in World of Warcraft you need to go through the different expansions to play. That's what you got. So
okay. Well, that's good because I'm not anywhere close to level 45 on any character.
Yeah, well, that's what level I am. I'm 45. Jedi's been level 50 for like 3 months now, even though the game hasn't come out that long. But I mean, he's up there, so I get picked on for it.
All right, gentlemen, just a warning: Ludra has joined the chat. We now have to behave ourselves.
Oh.
Oh no.
What is the sound of one cupcake clapping?
Don't know.
Okay, you guys have to explain this to me because I wanted to ask last week when we talked about the strain patch. Why is it called a strain patch?
Because they're straining up!
It's the strain. So one of the things is like a roused hour, which is a sheep, which I have to say they've lost the final sacrifice. It's a sheep. But there's a MST3K that makes fun of Rouse Tower. Like, anyone who's an MST3K geek knows what I'm talking about.
I thought you said aroused hour.
No. Yeah, say what you want to, Zod. It's a family show.
I remember that. Oh my gosh.
So,
I haven't thought of that in so long.
There's basically, it shows the sheep and they're like, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden the sheep's head basically explodes and it's got like tentacles and such. And it's really, is it virulent? Disease that is like sweeping across the planet.
That's right there.
That's what
Secret
the
World
strain
stuff.
is.
That's the Secret World stuff right there. That's creepy.
The Zerg.
It's the sheep from the scanners, is what you're saying.
Yeah, think of the Zerg, but if it gets on you, you get infected. So, to which that doesn't really happen with the Zerg unless, I'm not going to get into that. But yes, it's kind of like the Zerg. There's a lot with it. The Zerg in StarCraft, they have like this ground stuff that you see everywhere, and you'll see that as well. Everywhere the strain is, it's actually it's not very devastating. It's bright and purple. So it's
but it does horrible things. So you kind of want to avoid it, for the most part.
Yes, you do want to avoid it. So, but yeah, so they had the strain come out. It had
Wait,
the
it's
new
Barney?
zones.
No.
Zod.
It's bright purple and something you want to avoid. That's important.
Well, okay, that's fair. That does describe Barney pretty well. But no, I don't think Barney's bright purple goo is basically what it is.
That's different, yes. So they had the strain come up. They now have patch 2 is on the PTR, which patch 2 will have a brand new dungeon called Sabotage, and they really haven't gone much into it, so I'm not going to go into it here. But they will also have a new dungeon in there. They've also got the PTR also has testing for the new raid coming. So yeah, the first 20 there's the released with WildStar was a 20-man raid and a 40-man raid, and the 20-man raid has already been taken care of. People are still working on the 40-man raid right now, and they already have the PTR up. They already have the PTR up testing the next raid. So yeah, they're and I believe they said earlier this week that they already have six raids that they're working on in the hopper as it is.
Wow. Yeah, just gathering 20 people to do a thing, that is so far off my radar right now.
Yeah, don't worry.
Oh.
I was a pretty big raider in WoW. So the fact that I'm playing WildStar, I haven't even hit level cap, much less I don't think I'm going to be raiding in this game. Kind of breaks my heart a little bit.
You guys, I beat this game. Okay, I beat WildStar. It took me a week. I beat it. No. In a week.
She got a house.
Check this out. I got the free pass, and so then I got to level 14 and got a house. I got to level 15 and got a mount, and my house isn't just a plot of land. No. It actually has sparklies and good things on it. So I beat the game. I came up with 15 gold by level 15, guys.
That's beating the game.
Awesome.
That's it. They're shutting the servers down now because the game is over.
Oh, and my mount is a fluffy bunny thing that is so happy. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you talked about them yet, but the mounts are cute.
The mounts are pretty good. I like my giant hamster ball for my Chua. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, there's a dragon thing, and there's a horsey thing, and there's a bunny thing, and then there's a motorcycle.
Pendercade,
bunny.
What Aludra missed was the most important one, the hoverboards.
Oh,
yeah, but they're 50 gold, and you only get them at level, insanity, and I can't do that in a week, so I beat the game, just not the hoverboard game.
The house and also that, you get all the furniture, right? It's like we did the first dungeon the other night, and the first time I did it, and a purple piece of furniture dropped, and I was more excited about that than.
Oh my gosh!
And I was like, furniture! I didn't win the roll, but I was like.
You got furniture as a drop off a boss.
Oh yes. Yeah, well it's hilarious. So there's a
webcomic
that lots of nerds know about called Penny Arcade, and they actually did a whole comic about WildStar coming out. It's like, man, everyone hit level 14, and then everyone stopped playing, and they're like, no, we haven't stopped playing. We're playing.
We're in Animal Crossing.
We're basically playing Animal Crossing, and they actually were talking about, oh yeah, I'll totally help you with that dungeon because that boss drops a sweet end table. The WildStar devs actually designed a new end table for a dungeon and put it in the game because of that comic. So
awesome.
They have their finger on the pulse of they are actually listening, and I thought that was really, really awesome. That you can get this sweet end table from defeating this boss. So
the really, really cool thing about this game that I just absolutely adored is, yes, you can place furniture, but it's not like other games where you can place furniture, where it's like, okay, do you want it here or here? Because that's it. No, you get to pick exactly. If you want it floating in space, you can manage to have it floating in the air. Bigger than life on the outside. Your entire roof can be dominated by a roll of toilet paper if you so choose.
Great, you've been to my house, haven't you?
Yes, I have, God. Google Maps does not lie. And you were dumb enough to give me your address. No. But I thought I was really clever. I put a roll of toilet paper by a tree out back because clearly.
Nice. Keeping it classy, Aludra. Keeping it classy.
I am. Well, the thing that was really annoying is I played on a guest pass, so I couldn't go to see my friends' houses because I can't have any friends because I'm on a guest pass. You second-class citizen, you. And I'm like, my feelings are hurt. And they're like, you can't afford to have feelings yet. So I had to literally sit there in the randomizer with my friend in the randomizer hoping to get him. It took me 2 nights of spamming. Can I have another list? Can I have another list? Can I have another list? But I got there. Yes, that's the bunny mount. That's the tail right there of the bunny mount. That's the bunny butt. It's such a happy mount.
It's a bunny goat.
Yes, it's a bunny goat, but look at the
Bunny
face.
goat-aroo?
It's all smiles. For you guys on the podcast, yeah, this part really sucks. But it's all smiles, and it's so happy you purchased it. I mean, it's just the best.
It's a happy mount.
Oh, speaking of new
About
mount,
the hat.
this is something new that I was unaware of. Can you guys talk about the new mount that they just added today?
What?
Did they? Did they add it today? Because I don't see it.
Adding more content to the game after I beat it.
Well, they're all sitting around, nothing else to do, you know. So.
Well,
apparently
if
today-
they miss me so much, they need to give me a copy of it. Is what needs to happen.
Yes, no free copies today. But
Oh my
apparently
God.
today
Not
they.
you guys, them.
Yeah, no. Apparently today there's a. They released maybe today or maybe it's tonight. I don't know. I don't have it in my inventory, but if you have the two-factor authentication and you don't have to have a phone, you can have a Windows app or however many ways there are to have a two-factor authentication. You get that app, and then you get a XP bonus.
Yes, 2%. You get 2% to everything, as far as I know.
Yeah,
It's like
a renown bonus and a
Yep.
prestige bonus, which is like your grouping XP and your PvP XP, I guess, for without getting too complicated into it, right? And then they're giving you a free mount, and it looks like the Dominion motorcycle. So the wheels on the front, and it's got little skis in the back. And I can't show you it because it's not in my account inventory yet. So
Okay, so we have reports
But
from
you
the
look
chat
like
room,
Zane.
perhaps unofficially. Claw is reporting that it might be dropping tomorrow. So probably sometime this week they'll be dropping. But if you're not two-factor authenticating, you should be. It will prevent people from stealing your account, and it's free. So I highly, highly recommend you do this. I mean, WoW, pretty much all of the MMOs, I think, at this point have it. So I would really, really recommend that you do so.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and without naming names, we did have somebody that got hacked because they didn't have the authenticator, and we had to kick them from the guild. So,
It wasn't me,
yeah,
guys.
definitely do it. Aludra was the one hacking.
Yeah, I was trying to
She's
get a free
trying to
copy
play
of the
more.
game. I
she's
mean,
trying to play more Farmville / what's that?
Oh, coming from you, that's rich, Mr. Architect. That has so much stuff on his housing plot, you can barely move around.
That's right. I'm giving away furniture right now. So if you're listening and you're in the game, you can come up to me and open a trade, and I'll give you.
Zod,
look on
It-
Vega, guys. Look
it's-
at him standing there.
It
like
sounds... Zod, it
I'm
sounds
cracking
super ridiculous, but it is really addictive. Like, I have a friend who is playing an architect on the AIE server, and I'm just, like, feeding him materials. Like, hey, can you make me this thing? And you make me... So, because you get actually, for certain pieces of furniture and certain things on your plot of land, you actually get more rested XP.
Yeah.
So I believe there are
Amazing.
5 categories of stuff, and for each one of them you can either have a small, medium, or large experience bonus. So while you are on your plot of land, the more decorated your place is, the faster you accumulate rest experience. So it's
Before we go out and kill the dragon, wouldn't a China hutch look nice right there?
exactly.
Oh, exactly. But do you want
Oh,
the
the-
rocket China hutch, or the bunny kind of China hutch, or the kind
Yes.
of robot-y?
I need a bidet! Somebody get me a bidet!
There are no bidets. That's why my roll of toilet paper's outside by the tree.
I have an actual
Um,
toilet. Nice.
The cool thing about that, Gomez was talking about the Penny Arcade guys. They put that end table in. They also are designing the grub that Tycho and Gabe are talking about fighting,
Oh, nice.
turning that into a boss. So
Nice.
they've
So,
already
guys
already
are having
taken
Maybe
fun.
that's our boss in a box.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's our boss in a box, which is that was all the hint we got this week from from the devs on the next 20-man raid. They just said boss in a box, which you can't do. That's just the cool thing though is that the new dungeon that they're testing it in accordance with leaderboards. They will eventually have some sort of like the WoW Armory, the web-based Armory type deal. They are working on that, but they have no ETA on when that's coming out. Yeah, I know, right, Gomez? So with that said, they are also. I don't know. That's a good question. There are quite a few good websites that have all the furniture on them, though. People have definitely taken the niches with this game and run with them.
Oh, and also, speaking of, Eluder was talking about like hoverboards cost way too much money, so you can't use hoverboards to level 25. But if you are grouping with even one other person, you get a currency called Renown, which accumulates as you kill stuff, and you will easily have, because I believe the hoverboard costs 5,000 Renown, somewhere around there, you will easily have that amount by the time you hit level 25, even if you're grouping with just one other person. So this is a game that very, very strongly encourages grouping, and you actually get an additional currency on top of your golden XP for grouping with other people. So it's a really good way to get, basically a free hoverboard. Is you can essentially I accidentally I was looking at the stuff you could buy with Renown and accidentally bought a potion which lasted, I believe, for 4 hours and gave me 8% more experience or something, and that was most of my Renown, but it wasn't a big deal because I'm accumulating it so fast that I'm not worried about it. Like when I hit level 25, I will have more than enough to be able to buy what I want.
So if you can get a hoverboard, can you also get like a self-drying jacket?
What?
Think about it. Look at it in a minute.
That is awesome. And it self-fits as well, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Self-sizing, self-drying jacket.
Yeah,
And that's
actually,
something
you
that
can't,
they might have
clothes.
something in there.
No, that's
Because
just clothes. They all self-dry and they all automatically fit no matter what your size. But that's all MMOs.
That is something that Carbine likes to have their throwbacks to stuff like that. So, and they're very happy to put stuff in there. When they say that the devs are listening, they really mean that the devs are listening.
Well, then they need to put in an Eludra NPC. Beat Blizzard to the punch, guys.
One of the things with that, I'm trying to transition here.
No hope. Sorry, man.
No, I was late. I've got to do more talking in less time. You don't understand.
Somebody take her caramels away.
I'm not eating any.
So
That's the scary part.
The devs listening. One of the things that have come from that is that people complained, the dungeons are too hard. We've been told flat out they're not making the game easier. If you don't like it, then it's not your game. You might want to try something else. So Carbine is not afraid to tell you that if the game's too hard for you, you can either try different parts of it, or there's plenty of other games for you to play. They're not dumbing it down for you. With that said, they are instituting a level 10 dungeon. The first one starts at level 20 now, and they kind of throw you into it. The level 10 dungeon coming out is a tutorial dungeon that will basically it tells you the differences, or it shows you how this game differs from other MMOs out there. So that's a big bonus, in my opinion. That was one of the things that was brought up on the forums, and a bunch of people signed off on it, saying, "Yeah, this would really help out newcomers," and so the devs did it.
And I, speaking from experience of someone who we're sort of leveling a group, I've mentioned this before. Like, there's 3 of us that play here and 2 people that play about a mile away that we've done. Man, the adventures. I haven't even hit the dungeons yet. The adventures are sort of you get to choose, there's a sort of combinatorics thing that you can choose like different parts. I am dying a lot, and it's not because my healer is not doing a good job. These are, you will learn the mechanics or you will die. There is not, sooner or later they're going to let you through, it's fine. That does not happen in this game.
A little reminiscent of Final Fantasy, isn't it?
Yeah, I didn't die nearly as much in Final Fantasy as I'm dying in this game. I
have to admit, that's really cool, but do you think it's going to bite him in the butt later on? Or are people just going to say, well, forget it, I'll go play a game I can have fun in?
There is so much else to do in this game. I don't think it's going to be a problem. Like
Yeah, and that's one of the big things that they when the game was coming out and people complained about the dungeons being too hard, the raids being too hard, they are really looking for that vanilla WoW player that wants to spend, all this time in, getting attuned. Their first raid, you have to be attuned. You have to kill, I think, 10 or 20 world bosses before you can even get into the first raid. So stuff like that. I mean, it's. Oh, I see you've been watching some of the dev speaks. But yeah, it's 14 steps to get attuned for the first raid, and
which is, do you remember old school WoW? Anexia attunement? Like, these are things these are what the devs held dear to their hearts. They want that sort of thing back. And it's not that I didn't have fun because I was playing with a group of friends, but man, we were fighting a boss that I think we had to kill 38 guys that just basically they would spawn, 5 or 6 at a time, and it would just continuously spawn, and you start to learn, oh, this is what I need to be doing for this particular mechanic, and you sooner or later will learn, oh, this is what I need to do to overcome this. But it isn't something that you can just like, no, we'll figure it out, it's fine. No, you have to work together as a group. Vent, highly recommended, or Mumble, highly recommended, yes. to be able to chat with people, because the instant communication of voice really, really helps in this game. 100%. Okay.
Yeah, and that's back to or to reiterate that if if the raids aren't for you, if the PvP is not for you, they are they're not dropping the zone story. The second other than Blighthaven, the other zone that came out is a continuation from a zone that you play as an exile in the lower zones. It's basically you go back after a certain amount of time after it's been kind of ravaged by war and stuff like that. You do dailies there, and you learn story there. That zone is based on that. The other zone, Blighthaven, is more of a group zone. So they're trying to give people this and that, so that if you want to group up with friends and do something, you'll want to go to this zone. If you want to do it solo, you'll want to go to this zone. So they're definitely
make friends.
I mean,
yes,
yeah.
And one thing that I really hope that they tune in the very near future is there are some quests that seem like they should be group capable and are not. And there are some quests that don't seem like they would, you'd be able to do in a group that you can. So I hope they sort of even that out a little bit, because it seems to be completely random as to whether or not. So one quest is like, oh, you need to collect 5 of these. But I'm in a group with 4 other people, so you need to actually collect 20 of them. And there's some other quest that you need to collect stuff that, we only need to get 5, so it takes us 15 seconds because we all went in 5 different directions and collected it. So I hope they sort of balance that out a little bit, but I think it's just growing pains. I think it's just stuff that they're going to have to figure out.
It is, and there's a lot of this stuff there's a lot of bugs that they're working on. That they've said, look, we're working on bugs. They're working on game-breaking bugs. The game's been out barely a month now. They said that the open beta, they had roughly, I think, 2 million people, and they had a huge chunk, much more than they expected, bought the game and are playing the game. So that's also an issue, is that they weren't actually expecting as many people as they got.
Which, do people that write MMOs not actually look at the previous MMOs that launched? Because every single MMO is, well, man, we didn't expect this many people to be interested. It's like,
right?
At some point, an MMO should anticipate the load and be ready for it. But
they should anticipate the MM part of the MMO.
Yeah,
That's silly.
massively first word in MMOs.
Well, I think what it is like, well, we'll be lucky if we get 500,000. Yeah, ha ha ha, 500,000. That'd be great. Yeah, so what are we really planning for? 200,000. That sounds reasonable. You think they'd be more gauging the game sales and go, crud, crud, Crud. Look at the pre-orders. Crud. More servers! But you
Well, that's
don't
what-
want to have too many servers at launch also because then later you might have to...
Empty.
Yeah, you might
Right.
have to do the whole SWTOR
Merge.
thing, and that makes people go, oh, this game's dying. I'm having fun, but I should pull out because nobody's playing it anymore.
Well, I remember the Final Fantasy guys. They said because the first Final Fantasy 14 sucked so bad that they expected that nobody was going to play the second one, and then everybody played it.
I've heard the first one was pretty bad. Like, thankfully, I never had to experience that. I actually rather enjoyed it. I mean, I only made it to level 41 or 42 in the...
I know.
Because, to be fair, it was the game that I was playing while I was waiting for WildStar to come out. I will be completely honest. It was like, hey, this is cheap on Steam. I will buy this game, and it will totally tide me over until WildStar comes out.
Yeah,
But I
how
thoroughly enjoyed it. It's
in a different way than me.
Isn't it like dating one person, waiting for your true love to come out? Well, you're good enough for now, I guess.
Zod, that speaks volumes. That's
God, that is so mean.
Final Fantasy, just good enough.
You know, I still play that game, so I'm gonna flick you right in the head.
Herpavite in the chat room brought up a good point. He said they assumed most of the people who were going to play would try the beta, and that was not correct. The open beta, they had many more people that were in the open beta, including the people that were in the closed beta. They counted those as open beta as well. A lot more people than were in the beta bought the game when it came out. So yeah, those things are gonna, that was the first thing is people go, well, why don't you look at your pre-orders? Well, because a lot of people didn't pre-order. They said that they had many people just bought the game. They didn't pre-order at all.
That speaks volumes. Like, that must be really good word of mouth advertising, because if you can't judge your because pre-orders are the people that are really interested in the game. And if you can't actually judge on that, that is a very hard marketing metric to measure. Wow, that
it really
was
is. No matter what, it's easier for us all to sit here and go, well, you should have planned for more. It's like, come on, we're talking about real money they got to shell out because we get to see it after the fact and go, oh, well, yeah, you should have planned for. Yeah, it's easy for us to sit there and condemn, but in reality, more games need demos because clearly it works for selling your games. Guys.
Yeah.
Very
so
much.
Remind me, on this game, this is a monthly, pay every month kind of game, right? Monthly.
Sort of.
It's also $15 a month, like WoW.
And they
No,
also
it's got a,
go ahead.
Okay,
No.
I'll say it. It's got a system like EVE Online has, where you can pay in-game currency for time. So you can, and right now I think it's like 4 or 5 platinum, which is, what is it, 500, 600 gold, maybe? I don't know.
It changes based on the server. It's based on the economy. It's $20 outside of it's $20 outside of the game, and it's right now it's going for 5 platinum and 14 gold. So
for 5 platinum, which doesn't take that long to make, you can play for free. And I know there are people in our guild right now that have at least 12 months already banked up because right now it's in a buyer's market.
They're saying it doesn't take very long. I have my highest amount of money my characters have ever had. I'm at like 29 gold. So, like,
come on, man! I got 14 platinum.
Stop spending it on your house. That's
the problem. There are so many fun money sinks in this game. It's impossible to be like, no, I'm just gonna save. No, that doesn't happen. Like, my characters will never have a mount.
I'm a max level architect. I got lucky. I found a purple drop, so I've got a lot of money from that. But
nice.
But other than that, I put so much money into architect. In fact, the item that I'm going to give away at the end of the podcast, I put a lot of money into.
Am I eligible to win this?
No, not for another week.
Dang it! So, apparently we're giving away an item at the end of the show here.
I've been giving away furniture, but there's an item.
Well, before we do that and end up closing the show because we're getting short on time, so it's $20 a month. How do people join AIE? Where are you guys at?
Oh, no. So if you buy the thing that allows you to have an in-game reason, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's the cred, which is the 1 month worth of game time, is $20. But the game does not cost $20 a month to play.
Like
What does it cost a month? 15 per month?
Yeah, it's $14.99. I think it's maybe a little cheaper if you buy 3 months, a little cheaper if you buy 6 months. So it's pretty much standard fare.
If I wanted to make 5 platinum, 14 gold right now, I could go spend $20 and buy a cred and go sell it, and I would have 5 platinum in my thing. And then some guy like Cav would have he'd end up being about 30 days of game time that he didn't pay for.
Right.
So what's the cost to buy the game itself? Is there a cost for the game on top of the monthly?
Yes.
Okay, so it's exactly like WoW. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Although
Price.
I believe Green Man Gaming or one of those sites often has a coupon for like 15 or 20% off. So
Man always has coupons.
look online. You can probably find it for less than retail. Completely legitimate, completely feasible. Make sure and look before you buy if you're going to do so.
Gotcha. And so once you get into the game, how do people join AIE? What server are you on? How do they find you guys?
We are on the Storm Talon server, Exile side. Like I described at the beginning of the podcast, you need to apply in Umami and join. We have a system in place where you can join, but you won't have bank privileges and you'll have limited mobile access. So there's that too, and then you can try the guild out. But I assume that most people that listen to this podcast are already in Umami, so just take
That's probably true.
5 seconds that it takes to put
This
in
will
your
be recorded for all posterity, so
Oh, yeah.
it could be a year from now, somebody may find this.
a year from now. Things might be different. Who knows? But yeah,
Awesome.
really easy to join.
Yeah, I have to admit, I played in the beta, and I love both the game itself. I love the developers' devotion to the game. They're cranking out content faster than you can believe. If it wasn't for the monthly cost and the fact that I'm already so sunk into WoW, I'd be playing it.
Yeah, no, that's a thing. The long tail of MMOs, definitely, it's like, oh, I've invested so much time and money in this game. Jumping to another one becomes very difficult.
Don't worry, Zod. You'll get to the point that I did. I played for 8 years just after Encourage opened up, and I just the WoW candle just burned out for me. So luckily, WildStar was there to hold.
I've been
while I
playing WoW
slept.
I've been playing WoW since the first closed beta. The last closed beta, I forgot which one.
Yeah,
was,
but I don't understand that sunk cost thing. I mean, you enjoyed it, you paid for it, and then when it's time to move on, you can move on, right? I mean.
Yep.
No, but all my
Unless you're Zod.
All his hard work and time. So I'm gonna end the show here. So that's our show for this evening. We want to thank both Cav and Jedi for joining us. Before we move on to the rest of the close, we have 2 things to do. We have the chat room. Go ahead and start saying in the chat room show title, name of show. And Cav and Jedi, you guys need to select a winner. Also, it sounded like we had a prize we were going to give away to the chat room for a current WildStar player. So I don't know how you guys want to do that.
I was actually gonna just take everybody that's online right now in the WildStar Guild. There's 27 people online. It's gonna be after the podcast, guys, because it's gonna take some work. I'm gonna do a randomizer.org, and I'm gonna give away a storage fat kit, which gives you a guild bank at your house. Not a guild bank, a regular bank.
A regular bank at your house? What?
I'd love a bank at my house. I hate driving to the teller.
So, yeah, right now, whoever's online, I'm just gonna randomizer.org your name, and then you're gonna have, bam, it's gonna be.
Okay, so you have to be online in the game, not
in the game. So yeah.
In the game. All right, so those of you in the chat room,
for you.
Yeah, those of you in the chat room, go log into the game quickly.
Quickly! Do it!
Quickly. Booley, start logging me in. I'll have to give him my phone so he can use my 2-factor authentication.
Did you just say you're gonna give him your thong?
No, my phone!
Oh.
God.
Hold on,
We
he
all
said
hear
something
what
dirty.
we want here, apparently, and I do not wear a thong. Man. So
I agree. Not wearing underwear is just the way to go in.
So they're looking at the show titles. Show titles are coming in now. So is there anything you guys want to plug? Website? And also, please type it in the show notes so we have it when we post the show notes. But go ahead and let us know where we can find you on the net. Cav, if you want to go first.
You can find me writing for the wildstar-core.com. I'm the senior editor there. I went from senior writer to senior editor since the last podcast, which
Nice.
not much of a change. It just means I have more work. So I have that. You can find me on Twitter at Samurai Cav, and I'll let Jedi go over the podcast.
Jedi.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to be at Jedi Knife Fight at Twitter. Yeah, that's my Twitter. Yeah, and then just yesterday and today I've been editing it all day because I'm learning. But we recorded our very first episode of our own podcast, The WildStar Port, and it's at WildStar Port on Twitter, and it might be WildStarPort at Gmail, maybe. Cav might know this.
I'm sorry, what? Sorry, what? WildStarPort at Gmail, and sorry, I was typing out. You said to type in the show notes. I was typing in the show notes.
And then I got a message.
At the bottom.
Way to be on top of things, guys. Just.
You guys did say WildStar Port, right?
Yes,
With a
Port.
T? Okay.
Yes.
Port.
No, they're
my ears are
poor because
definitely-
it's WildStar, so it's Wild.
I heard another word entirely.
I'm sure you
Wow.
did.
Brown chicken, brown cow.
Considering it's three guys doing the podcast, it'd be really awkward.
That doesn't mean anything. So next week will be our super 200th episode. Make sure and join us. We would love to have you here. Please join us in the chat room. We would love it.
All right, now let me say, because Ludra joined us and she missed the opening, Ludra, can you drop any of the names? Have we got legal clearance yet from all the lawyers to mention anyone who's going to be on the show next week?
Oh yeah! I've got so many names lined up. We're talking Buxley. We're talking maybe Hunts the Wind. We're talking Miss Mulgra. We're talking Scott Johnson and Randy Deluxe.
Wow.
We're talking Ralph and Steve needs to get back to me because honestly, how long can you hold
Called
out?
him out.
I know.
She called him out on the show. Look at that.
I did.
And Stig is in the chat room.
I know.
Or
That's why I called him out.
Somebody named Stig is in the chat room.
I'm pretty sure
I
it's
sent
good.
emails ages ago and no word, so clearly they are just too good to not leave me hanging, so...
Well, he is
Good
busy
job.
building Greenwall for everybody's games. So.
That is true. He's got to build all the green walls, so...
Awesome. That's going to be an amazing show.
It will,
Okay.
it will.
Before we wrap this show up, stay tuned. We've got a full ride of great AIE member segments coming right up, including Ask a Magus, much lesser-known Shaws, Ask Miss Mulgra, and Buxley's Journal.
Yay! But first, if you need to reach us and maybe get some therapy for Zod, you can find us at podcast at AIE-guild.org. Our Twitters are at AIE Podcast for the show, at Show Not Found for Gomez, at Accuzod for Accuzod, seriously guys, and I am at Aludra_AIE. You can tease me for being late.
Ah, you had a birthday. It was, you know.
Yeah, there's a party going on. Everybody started dancing as soon as I said that. I wish my camera was on because everybody started dancing. That is great. We record live with video every Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with us or watch one of our past shows on our website, theaiepodcast.com. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul or visit his website at keyswithsoul.com. You guys, he was at Nerdtacular.
Oh yeah, and if you kickstarted the album and you got the digital download, you should already have the new album, Secret Identity. It's awesome. I was listening to it, pre-show before the show actually came on air. It's really good. It's super awesome. So
We had to get his permission to play like a little snippet, a little 10 seconds, just to show it
oh
off.
yeah. No, maybe I'll do that for
Yes.
next show. I'll email him. I'm sure he'll be agreeable.
That
So
would be so cool.
until next time, AIE, this is Gomez.
This is Aludra.
This is Accuzod.
And this has been the AIE Podcast. Okay, I hope the guests have been paying attention to the chat room.
Yeah, I've
because
seen
we
a
need
bunch
show
of
title.
great titles going on in the chat
There
room.
have been a lot of great titles. Guests.
I'm in a weird spot, so like I'm not at my desk. So it's like the actual chat is like really far away from me.
Oh, well
would it be
then
like
maybe
leave it up
maybe
to me?
we should have your cohort decide the show title here.
I don't know. Ludra's fluffy bunny mount. She showed up late though. Why should we?
know.
Sweet end table.
I know.
I like sweet end table.
Dude, sweet end table.
Dude,
I do.
the end table's pretty
I
good.
think Buxley's got it with the sweet end table.
All right.
Okay.
Kudos to Buxley for this week's show title.
Thank you, chat room. We appreciate you joining us as always. We had a great turnout. So you Wildstar guys are really drawing the crowd.
Yeah.
Kudos. So,
Outstanding.
Zog, can you take us off the air, please? Thank you, chat room. See you next week.
Out of here.